It's heavy.
That's a coordinator. You got a busted play here, and then Sanchez gets hit. The ball is loose. And
look at the fumble right here, and it's picked up on the bounce, and there he goes.
Welcome back, everyone. It's week 14, Fumbling the Bag podcast. I'm your host, Rich. Here with me always, Andre Miller.
What's up,
How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good, man. You know, last week I didn't do so well with my picks, but it was a good week overall, in spite of my picks.
I'm back to full health, everyone. It's a great feeling, or at least mostly full health. That last episode, I was down bad.
Hey, you made it through.
Yeah, I did, and I probably shouldn't have went to work either, but that's a different discussion.
Oh, man, the job.
Yeah, the job. Well, we don't have to talk about the job. We're here to talk football and making money, or at least trying to make money. I'm back in the Thursday picks. They went good. Weekend picks went well, except the New Orleans Saints kind of ruined the fun.
New Orleans is terrible, man. I'm just ready for their season to really be over, for real. They don't even have to play anymore if it was up to me.
Oh, yeah.
For the rest of the season, man. Just get the hell out of here.
Yeah, they stink.
Man, hard to judge. I mean, you know, they have not lived up to what they were supposed to be this year. It's been a few teams that are in that category.
The Houston Texans.
Yeah.
In that category.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's teams I thought that were in that category, like the Lions, they're fighting, man.
So, up, man.
You know, there's good stories all around the league. We got 13 games this week, so we got a little extra teams on bye this week. So
yes, we do.
Final bye weeks of the year as well. So after this, we go back into full 16-game slates.
Ooh, maybe I can catch up.
God.
Got more games to pick.
Yeah, and then I was looking over my record as I was telling you. I missed like 3 games tabulating somewhere down the line, so I'm just going to go with, I think I'm 95, 92, and 8. I think I'm about 3 games over. I had a good week last week. I was
We'll go with that.
Yeah, I think I was 10 and 5 altogether. Okay. So, and I thought I was about 1 or 2 under last week, so I'll say I'm right around there, but
I was the opposite of that. I was 4 and 11, and I'm 16 and 11 overall on my locks, but overall, like I said, I'm 90 and 101 and 8, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, somewhere around there. But your locks are hitting. Where my locks on a Sunday just bet the opposite. I was harping on it last week, like Kansas City's the lock. Please be wrong. I didn't bet the game. I'll be honest. Full disclosure. I went with Dre's lock. It was the Lions. Great pick. Made me some good money. And you know, I played a lot of lays. Like I said, I was back in action.
Right.
It was a good weekend for me. And then I had a little sports book error. So I've been in real good fortune. So we're going to keep it rolling. Let's go to the Thursday night stinker, as we like to call it, because Amazon's paying for this fucking nonsense. And maybe this game maybe in hindsight at the beginning of the year would have been good, given the circumstances. Now, we got the Raiders going to SoFi Stadium to play the Rams. Rams are 6-point home dog under over 44.5. They signed Baker Mayfield. He might start. I don't think he does. It's a lot to learn a playbook in like 3 days.
Damn, man. So Mayfield is the wanderer now, huh?
Yeah, he's done. He's cooked.
Man, but you know what? I mean, he'll always have money though, because he'll
He had the advertising deal.
Yeah.
That's where he got paid.
Well, you know, plus he'll get with the team. You know, they may cut him, you know, that same year or whatever, but he'll continue to like latch on just because he has, you know, football experience, professional football experience.
Absolutely.
So, you know, this might be a good thing for the Rams. I mean, you know, just like Geno from Seattle, he may latch on with the team and it might work for him.
You got to think they just need a backup anyway, because like, Wolford and Bryce Perkins aren't going to ever, and I'm not saying they'll never be productive NFL players, but at least we know Baker is, you know, a bottom 30 guy. He's, you know, still got something to prove, I guess.
He does. And I hope that he is able to feel secure about I guess, his talent. I guess he does, but I mean, you go from team to team like that, though, man. It has to mess with your mentals.
Yeah, after being a number one pick, it's the
Exactly.
Johnny Manziel syndrome. But
Right. Oh, man.
I ultimately think he doesn't play in this game.
Okay.
I
Right.
think Bryce Perkins starts.
Right.
And I don't actually mind the 6 as bad as that sounds. I was on him last week as well. I had no problem against Seattle. Another high potent offense.
Mm-hmm.
Run defense is still there, man. They can still at least close gaps against the run, and they actually get a decent amount of turnovers too. Even though they've lost the last 6, Stafford is out for the year. I see this being close, wacky Thursday night football we all have come to know and love. So I would take the Rams 6.
You know what? I thought long and hard about this game, and I was leaning Rams, but then I thought about things. I'm looking at my statistics and everything. The Raiders' pass rush has played a lot better these past few games.
Yeah, Crosby and Jones
Yes.
coming together.
Yes, it is. So I think they'll put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, whoever is playing, and I think they may force a couple turnovers. And the Raiders' offense is clicking right now, man. Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs, man, they going bananas right now, man.
West Coast offense.
Oh my gosh, man! So with that too, I think they can win this game. But again, this is a wacky Thursdays. You know what I mean? I like to call it Thirsty Thursdays.
Yeah, seriously, it is. Yeah, if you're really rushing to bet it, this is where I usually make my money. So
Anything can happen, and I'm gonna start following you on these Thursday bets.
Besides Thanksgiving, it's been pretty much net positive all the way around.
Yes, man. I'm leaning Raiders right now, but with that being said, the Raiders don't have a very good passing defense, though. They're ranked 26 on team defense. So
yeah, I seen that too. I've been later in the year. I start looking at the team stats because I think it does tell a tale.
Yeah.
At least, besides like the outlier, liar game or two where they let up 50 or they shut someone out. You can get a good idea what's happening. I think the public's gonna bet Vegas pretty heavily, just like they did with Seattle last week, and I think Rams cover this, unfortunately. They're going to keep the ball on the ground, long sustained drives. Okay. When the defense plays, you hope they turn the ball over once. And the stat I read was, Vegas doesn't turn the ball over, is what I seen. They're
they don't.
5th in the league in that category, but I got a hunch. I got a lot of chalk this week. This is not one of them. Give me the Rams.
Okay, I'm gonna take the Raiders, and we do have a good sample size of stats that we can go by now.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't matter, but I'm gonna take the Raiders right now.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I mean,
I might do the old switcheroony though, but.
I should have did that when we were talking about the New Orleans Tampa game at work. That was a bad L to take. I texted you like it's over. All right. It was like 7-3. I'm like it's over.
Yeah, you did announce that earlier. I think it was first quarter.
I was like it's over. No, it's over. You can tell. All right, we got Jacksonville going on the road to Tennessee. Losers of their last 22 of 23 road games, by the way. Tennessee only laying 4. I've seen 3.5, but it's going to move to 4.5. Under over 40.5. Jacksonville just got embarrassed. They don't win on the road. Titans are 11th in scoring D. They've actually dropped a couple games here too. It's a get right spot. This is my lock of the week. This is where I'm just going to pick on the Jags until they show me something on the road. Give me Tennessee.
Man, great minds think alike, man. This was my lock too.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, man, this is a bounce back for the Titans, man. They lost that game last week, and they have to get back on the winning edge, man. And the Jags are on a downward spiral right now. We see them slowly sinking.
Yeah, week to week, they go and surprise Baltimore.
Yeah, they did that, but I don't trust Baltimore right now, though.
But yeah, exactly. And they lay an egg on the road, man, and Tennessee historically beats them most of the time.
Yep.
Jacksonville hasn't covered in 9 of their last 10. I think they want to close out this division. You get to 8-5 at this point. for that division.
Yeah.
I think 8 wins is pretty much enough to win the title of the division, as sad as that is.
It is really sad.
Sorry-ass division. Tennessee 8-4 against the spread this year in my book. That ranks 5th. Jags are 4-8. That ranks 29th. One covers, one doesn't is my main, focus for this. And it's just like, well, I'm just going to keep pounding the team that covers, even though could be a trap. I have no fear.
I don't have any fear, man. I think the Lions took Jacksonville's soul last weekend.
Yeah.
They drained what little effort and confidence that Jacksonville had. I mean, with this particular matchup too, man, I just think the Titans are just about that business. Right
Yeah,
now.
and I just think once you get to 8 losses at this point of the year, death sentence, it's over.
Yes.
For all intents and purposes, you lose 8 games by week 13 or 14, you're probably not making playoffs. So,
Good point, man.
what's there to play for?
Titans it is.
Titans it is. Let's move on to Houston, the Texas Showdown. Houston going to Dallas. Dallas laying 16.5, 17.5. A huge number, you may call it. Over 44.5. What do you got for me? Because I'm going to yell about this game.
Man, I don't know what to say about this game, man. I mean, the Texans are that bad though. They really are. I mean, 17 points is very telling.
Yeah.
For an NFL professional football spread, which lets me know that Dallas probably will cover this. I mean, but the thing is, we know how the backdoor thing works. Dallas may not take this game seriously, and the spread is just maybe too huge. But with that being said, I'm going Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, I have once I learned today that Davis Mills is getting his job back.
Right.
Kyle Allen, one of the worst. I watched 3 games on Sunday, one being Cleveland and Houston, one being Washington Giants, one being Detroit Jags on the early slate. Man, Kyle Allen should have never had the job as a starting QB. I think the point was to tank early because it was unacceptable. He should have been subbed at the half. He was really fucking bad. And he has been bad. Davis Mills gives them a little more of a chance to win. Not much, though. So it really is a matter of, do you really trust him either? I would have trusted him last week against a rusty Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
I don't really trust him against, the best defense in the league. Look at these numbers. 2nd in passing defense, 3rd in scoring defense, 1st in sacks, 2nd in turnovers, 8-4 covering on the year. Texans lost their last 7. Dallas covered their last 10 of 11 against teams with a losing record. Mm-hmm. If you want to go from a statistical analysis, this is going to be a bloodbath.
Yes, I believe so.
And I hate laying 17. This is a college line.
It really is, man. It bothers me that I'm laying this much. I mean, I'm not going to put any money on this one, but just for us.
Yeah. I got you covered. I might have that as a main piece in parlays this week.
Okay.
It's crazy enough that it might just happen because I think this team might just get punched in the throat and lose by 40.
Yeah, well, at the least, even if Dallas doesn't really score that much, defensively, Texans not going to score either. So you could literally probably put up 20 points and they probably will cover that spread.
That's what I'm saying.
21 points.
I don't see them moving the ball. I don't see them getting more than 7 first downs in this game.
Man,
it's going to be a lot of punt, turnover.
Yeah.
If I was to live bet that game, I would probably, every time the Texans had the ball, take the minus 165 punt or take the plus 100 turnover.
Listen, Dallas is just trying to get, through this game without anyone getting hurt. And that kind of bothers me too because it might be a backdoor.
I don't believe that based on where they're at in the standings.
Yeah.
Compared to the Eagles and even the other 2 teams in their division. I mean, 10-3 guarantees you at least the wild card berth. And then from that point on, you're hoping Philly loses. So then you're, a game back. Because, you get to play them one more time, too, in about 2 weeks.
Right. So you're saying they're going to play hard. They're going to play.
They're going to run these guys over. They might score 30 at the half and then play backups. That's the one thing I am worried about is, like the Miami backdoor scenario where it was like, hey, they were up 30-0 at the half. Didn't score in the second half.
Yeah. Yeah, they might get ahead too soon.
But once again, a team that covers versus a team that doesn't cover, I like Dallas.
I got to go Dallas.
All right, let's move it on to it's the Detroiter game of the week. It's one of my I'll probably watch it along with the Bills and Jets. Minnesota, coming into Detroit. Detroit laying 2.5. What?
Right.
2.5. Under over 53. This is a weird fucking line if I've ever seen one. I don't think I've ever seen a 10-2 team getting 2.5.
From a 5-7 team? Right? 5-7,
Yeah. Is that a cause for concern? I like Detroit. That's the scary part.
Yeah, and that's what I'm leaning to. I mean, and I think everybody is. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, well, I looked earlier and it was like, it gives you just an approximation of the ticket number. It's like 56-44. Like, people were betting, common people were betting that 2.5.
Okay.
I think it's justified. Why wouldn't the 10-2 team just get points? Or if you're betting this game, why wouldn't you just bet the money line Minnesota?
Well, just the fact that Detroit is ATS is at 2.5. That lets you know that the handicappers know something. Like, okay, these guys are they're getting ready to run the table. Maybe they're playing that well, and they knew last game against Minnesota that Detroit should have had a 10-point lead.
10 point, yeah.
Should have won that game. Okay,
yeah, they played hard, man. Should have won.
Yeah, Detroit is playing better than Minnesota right now too.
They've been playing good football too, from what I've seen in person and on TV. I mean, they just stomped a team, and that line was put wrong, and that's what scares me is like, would they really set another bunk line for Detroit? Because the books got killed. Like, a lot of money was going on Detroit in that game because of the thing I told you. Jacksonville doesn't win on the fucking road.
Yes.
Why is it a 1-point game? It should have been about 4 or 5.
They starting to drink the Honolulu Kool-Aid, man. And it tastes good right now.
It still looks good, and I lean Detroit just because I think this team can do it. They could sweep the rest of the season. And that sounds insane to say, and I'm drinking the Kool-Aid again.
Well, what's crazy about this whole run that they've had, they've won, 4 of the last 5, I believe.
4 of the last 5 and lost on a last-second field goal to the Bills.
Exactly. Arguably maybe one of the best teams, in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
I think with Detroit, one thing about it that people are not talking about a lot, they're talking about their offense, but their defense is actually stopping teams now.
Yeah, the rookies have showed out, whether it's Joseph Rodriguez, Aiden Hutchinson.
Yes, yeah.
They're good.
They're starting to come together and play well as a team.
Remember at the beginning of the year when they were 1-6, that historically like the worst defense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They've turned it around. I mean, the metrics still show them not being great, but 2.5. 2.5 at home.
Man. I got Detroit all day. Now, I don't know if that's a lock for me just yet, but it might be. My only problem is that they've usually been underdogs. And they play well as underdogs. Now we got to see how they play
as favorite
favorites.
Against a 10-2 team.
A 10-2 team at that.
It's just, it's unprecedented. Like
it is.
If this was the Bills at 10-2 on the road, they're laying 7 still.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like, Minnesota, that they just show how afraid they are of Minnesota. Really odd game to me.
It's odd, man, but I'm going Detroit all the way.
I think it's gonna be a good piece this week. I think you have to go back, and they've been good at covering spreads. They're like 8-3-1. Oh, and if you want to bet them, they hit their overs too. They've hit so many overs, especially at home this year. That's where you go and get them.
I was thinking about taking the over on this game, man.
I know. I almost parlayed that Lions bet with that over 51 too, because I was
wow.
Yeah,
that would have been a good parlay right there, man.
Yeah, I was gonna put an extra ticket in on it, and I chickened out. Was a winner, though, once Amon-Ra scored again. That was...
Listen, man,
Running
their
it up.
offense is fun to watch.
The pieces are healthy. The O-line is good.
You see Swift is getting healthier, too.
Yeah, Swift's been playing better.
Let's give Williams his credit, though, man. He's a leading touchdown scorer.
Leading the league.
14, 15,
yeah,
something
14
like
or
that.
15. No one saw that coming, you know, especially me. I was like, oh, yeah, it's a Swift year.
I'll tell you what, too. If Detroit makes the playoffs, nobody wants to see them in the wild card round.
I don't think so.
Nobody.
Yeah. You think, like, especially the way some of these teams are dealing with injuries right now.
Yes.
San Francisco might not want to deal with them.
True.
Even on the road.
Yeah. They'd be a hard out, man.
Minnesota doesn't want to deal with them. They played them tough, and they're going to play them tough this week. You can bet on that.
Yes.
That's why the line is like this.
I like it, man. I really do, because it's been a long time coming just to see them play.
Yeah.
Even though they're 5-7, but just to see them play at this level. And people know, even the haters of Detroit are like, hold on, man. These cats looking kind of straight.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, I was a hater all year. I'm still hating, but they look like a different team, and they still might come up short, and people will be disappointed, but
I won't be disappointed, though.
I wouldn't be disappointed if they won 7 games. No.
Just continue to play well.
You have to build upon what you are, and people were, at the beginning of the year like, yeah, 5-6 wins. That's about what we called it at. You win 10 games and make the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, one important thing is they're building a culture.
Yeah.
And you can see the culture is different than in the past, 50 years?
I mean, it's, yeah.
I mean, they're trying to do something, man. Detroit all the way for me. Man,
yeah, same here. All right, let me go on a little Buffalo rant. Buffalo hosting the Jets at Highmark Stadium this Sunday, needing their revenge. Over 43.5 seems a little low to me if a team is laying 9. I tend not to like when a team's laying near 10 with the over a 43.
Right.
So, in hindsight, if I was to really tell you how to bet this game, bet the Jets. Bet the 9.5. I think that's the better bet. But for me, betting the Bills. I think they're going to roll these guys. I think they're clicking at the right time. Von Miller's out the rest of the year, folks. I don't think it matters that much. It does. But defense is still clicking. If you want some numbers, 5th in rushing defense, 4th in scoring defense, 4th in generating turnovers. And then they have the offense to match. 3rd in passing, 8th in rushing. When they said they can't rush, which is bullshit. Sorry again. 3rd in scoring. Yeah, they're 30th in turnovers. But you live and die by Josh Allen, man. Mm-hmm. What do you got for me?
I was leaning Jets just because of the over-under. That's so low, 43.5. And, they're kind of letting me know this is going to be maybe a defensive game. I don't know. Maybe they're going to rush more. They're going to, run the ball more. But I've gotten burnt too many times going against the Bills. So I'm taking the Bills, man. The Jets are 4-0 after a loss. ATS.
Yeah, they've been really good.
Loss.
They've been a bounce back team. They beat the Bills. They've beat good teams all year. Like, I expect it to be a good game. Well,
that's you said one thing. They beat the Bills first time they played them. This is a revenge game for the Bills. It's they may not be going into it thinking, we got to beat these cats because they beat us before, but I think it would be good for their mentals to beat them.
I think they're thinking about that. A, the division. B, divisional pride. Like, you don't want to lose to your divisional foe twice and once at home.
Yes.
Especially when you're 9-3, cusp of, 1 seed. Mm-hmm. Cusp of, still, you got the Finns right behind you. Even if the Jets win this game, that means they're right behind you again. You don't want that. Yeah. Put this shit to rest.
They're in a divisional battle. You're right. Mike White.
Though, man.
What do you think about Mike White?
He cooks.
Okay.
The guy can cook. He's better than Zach Wilson.
Well, he can cook, but I noticed last week, and I read this statistic, he had a quarterback rating of 59.8. Now, he threw for 369 yards, okay?
Yeah.
But he threw 2 interceptions, And let's give Minnesota credit for their red zone defense, but he could not score in the red zone. It was just very frustrating.
Yeah, it was
to
an
watch.
issue. I mean, here's the other thing. You could have kicked field goals at the end of that game, too. The way that played out, could have actually kicked some field goals and won that game by 8 points. Instead of losing by 5, it would have been 28-22.
Yeah, they I think they went for a couple of them in the red zone that they didn't make.
I don't think they were thinking like, oh, we're going to get the ball back.
Right, exactly.
Which is weird to think about when your defense was playing well at that point. Second half, they started shutting them down.
Yeah. Now, I know also that, the last time that these teams played, the Jets won. But the Jets are 3-7 against the spread in the last 10 road games against Buffalo. That's kind of telling to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's different over the years, too. You got to think, those Jets teams 5 years ago sucked. Shit, even 3 years ago, they're bad.
We were the first people to say that, I was, to say that they were going to suck this year.
Yeah.
And look at them, I mean. But I think the Bills come to play. It is a revenge game, like you said. I believe revenge is going to be a factor. I got Bills in 9.5.
Yeah, I do too. That's just out of pride mostly.
Yeah.
Like I mean I wouldn't tell like, hey, are you gonna bet the Jets? You like 9.5? Yeah, I do. Well, I'm betting the Bills still. I don't care.
Yeah, man.
Pride will get in the way, and they finally covered last week. They covered against New England, man. I told you that was a easy lock.
It was an easy lock, man, and I should have followed your what you were doing, man.
Yeah,
I'm following you this time around. I mean, this game, yes.
Good luck with that, because I got a interesting card this week. It's a lot of favorites.
Hey, you feeling it?
For sure. Oh, shit. So we'll move on there. So, the next game on the schedule. Divisional matchup. One that's a little intriguing. Only because this team covers as a dog and wins as a dog a lot. We had the 11-1 Philadelphia Eagles going on the road to the Giants, who just came off a tie. They're 7-point home dogs under over 45.5. The tie sucked. I watched that game. It sucked.
Right.
Oh, that was a painful one. You never want to tie with your rival. But it's actually good for both of their playoff cases at this point, so they probably weren't even mad.
Yeah.
It's because at this point they're like 7-5-1 and 7-4-1. If you win 2 games, you're in, more than likely. And they both have a matchup with each other too. This game, man, I know, the Giants are 5-2, just winning as dogs this year.
Okay.
But Philly's a different beast, and even last year, I know the Giants beat them at home. If you remember that game last year, it was 14-13.
Yes.
Something along that lines. They do play this team better at home. Philly's a different animal. They're still playing for the 1 seed too. So I mean, 7. I'm laying the 7, man. I think they get it done, and I think this is a trap line, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Giants are the best team covering against the spread this year. Fun fact, 9-3.
Wow.
Yeah, and I feel like I bet against them every week, so they're probably always on my L list. So that sucks.
That's interesting stat right there, man.
Yeah.
You know what, man? I'm going Philly also. I think this is either feast or famine. If it's a close game, Giants may win this.
Correct.
If it's a Philly is dominating, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, seriously.
They're definitely going to win by more than 6.5 if they're dominating this game. Because one stat that I noticed, on average, New York Giants average losses are by 10.5 points. Okay?
Yeah, so they get smoked when they lose.
They get smoked, man. So I think this is what's going to happen. Philly is a different beast, like you said. They're feeling themselves. They're smelling themselves, everything.
They have to be. They're a good team.
Yeah, man. Hurts, man, he's probably going to win MVP. I know there's a close race between
close,
him and Mahomes.
Yeah, don't forget about Josh Allen. He'll be back too.
Yeah, he will.
If he wins all 5, he might be there too.
What do you think about Herbert? You think Herbert is in that?
I wish. I love Herbert. I think he's sick.
He's not in the talk though. Well,
No.
Tua. I'm forgetting about Tua.
Tua, he's not. He's in the talk. Like he's honorable mention, but I think it's a race between Hurts and Mahomes at this point. Correct.
Okay. All right.
And I'd say like Allen 3rd, Tua 4th, maybe like Herbert 5th or something like that. And I'd probably even throw like Tyreek Hill in there with the season he's had.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yes. I just think that Philly gets this done. They're not playing around. I think I just think that they're starting to see that that they can dominate this division.
Yeah.
I mean, as bad as it is to say. I mean, the Dallas, they beat Dallas, didn't they?
They beat Dallas.
They beat Dallas,
Cooper
yes.
Rush was
With
the
Cooper
QB,
Rush,
and they
that's right.
beat him by like 18.
Now it's going to be a great
Important.
matchup.
That was an important game to win early. And,
Yes.
when I was looking at the statistical overview, the Eagles' overview is insane. They're first on both sides of the ball with not turning it over and getting turnovers.
Okay.
Where the Giants, they hold on the ball. They don't turn the ball over much either.
Right.
But if you just look in their categories in general, it's like they're like 26 in passing, 20th or 12th in scoring defense is like their bright spot.
Okay.
Everywhere else, it's kind of like bottom of the, middle of the road, lower end, statistical outlook. Like people throw on them, people run on them. They just game plan very good. And they have a good rushing attack where it keeps them in the game. They let the other team make the mistake and make them, force their hand.
Okay.
That's what scares me about this line is that if they can keep the ball on the ground and actually have a, run game that is, let's say they get 120 yards on the ground, a touchdown, and, they kick 4 field goals. Because that's just what the Giants do. They put up 19. They might cover this game if their defense, on the other hand, does what they need to. But like I said, every statistical category, Philly dominates the entire league. They're near top 5, top 10 in everything.
Mm-hmm. And see, with this matchup, I think their offense, the Philly Eagles offense, is what scares me about this matchup for the Giants. Not to say that the Giants don't have a good defense, because they do. It's solid.
Yeah.
But, oh my gosh, man, you got to worry about so many things when you're dealing with the Eagles right now, offensively.
Yeah.
And you just mentioned defensively, too. They're kind of coming into form a little bit more.
They're in form. They're a good unit.
I got the Eagles, man.
Yeah.
And I got them at 6.5. Did you grab them at 6.5?
I've seen 7. I'd play this. I'd play up to 7. I think that's fine. If 7.5, no, I wouldn't play it.
What do you think about this over-under of 45.5? Is that a good number? Is that a...
I think the under's in play there.
Okay, I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
I was certainly thinking that.
I just see a weird game where it's like 23-10 Eagles.
Yeah, I think the Giants are going to have, an issue with scoring, man. They're going to struggle on the offensive side of the ball, I think.
They usually do. Look at where, their points
Right.
total for the year. They're just not a big-time scoring team. It's, coaching, special teams, a little bit of defensive luck. Fucking hate them. I really hate the Giants, man.
You know what, though? I think they're a better team than Minnesota.
Whoa.
And that's crazy to say that.
I don't believe that. No.
I don't know, man.
No.
We're gonna see it. A lot is gonna be said about Minnesota in these last 4 or 5 games of the season, man.
Yeah.
It's it's gonna be really telling of what type of team Minnesota truly is. Okay?
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully they get bounced in round 1 by Washington.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that'd be nice to see. All right, let's move it on. Let's get our Deshaun Watson game of the week in. Cleveland going on the road to Cincinnati. Cincinnati laying 6 under over 47. I hate the number because, as me and you talked about, Cleveland owns Cincinnati for whatever fucking reason. Mm-hmm. This is one I might actually switch on, but I'm going to stay with Cincinnati for now, just based on what I've seen last week with Watson.
Okay.
he was, he was underthrowing balls. He's still, it's going to take him a while to get ready to play at the level he did.
Yes.
And this point of the year, they're, 5-8. They're tune-up games. They're really tune-up games for next year. The team kind of knows they're out of it because I don't think you're beating the Chargers or the Jets or whatever team that's kind of there in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
It does terrify me. P. Ryan is probably playing this week. They said Mixon is questionable.
Okay.
Cleveland killed him on fucking Halloween, though, and that's what scares me is that, Cleveland does defend the pass well, 12th in the league, and, allowing yards per game.
Mm-hmm.
Since he excels at the pass also. If,
yes.
there might be a lot, a law of averages here where it's like, well, they're going to stop their pass, and since he can't run, and Cleveland's also bad at run defense, it'll just kind of be like, well, that means Cleveland technically has an advantage here.
Oh, my goodness, man. This one is tough, man, because, yes, the Browns have destroyed the Bengals, man. They've won the past 5 matchups, man. The last 5 matchups.
Yeah.
And 8 of last 9 they've won. It's different teams, but I'm leaning Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland can win this game, but I think that they can cover the spread. I think Watson, although he's really very rusty, I think he will play better.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about their Cleveland's pass defense. Is what?
It's decent. It's decent. Yeah, they don't.
And that's what the Bengals will try to get you on, man. And I talked about this to you today. I know my man is playing better. Because Mixon's not playing.
Yeah, Burrow's.
He's playing. Yeah, Burrow. He's playing. He hasn't played
They
bad.
just went and beat Kansas City.
Right.
In everyone's opinion, that is the best team in the league.
Well, I need Mixon to play just for fantasy football purposes. I need some points, man.
Yeah,
Dang it.
Final week, man, of the year before playoffs. It's a big one.
It is so huge for me for Mixon to play. But I think he could possibly be a factor, though. It just depends on because I think Cleveland has a good enough defense to neutralize the Bengals, so to speak. I got them covering this spread. I thought long and hard about it on my drive home from work.
I think it kills people too because it's still the I can't bet against with Deshaun Watson. I have no problem. At some point I will be on Cleveland. I'm not I hate this guy. No, when I'm betting sports, I have to be neutral about this. No matter how much I hate a guy, I've bet terrible people that I hate, but if they win me money, they win me money.
Oh yeah.
That's all I fucking care about when it comes to this shit. Call me greedy, call me, non-woke, non-moralist, but, cash is green, baby. And, I have serious doubts about my Cincinnati pick, and that will be one I will mull over probably all week.
It's such a great rivalry, man.
It's a good rivalry,
It is, man.
Cincinnati does have, the divisional title to play for.
Yes.
You think you can gain a game on Baltimore because now you got Lamar Jackson out.
Yeah.
You want to put that to rest, get your home field advantage for a game because you're probably not catching Buffalo.
Yeah, true.
So it's just, it's the time is now for Cincinnati. They seem to be clicking.
Exactly. And that's the question for me as well. Now the Bengals know that they've struggled against this team. Can they turn a corner in this particular game and, kind of show that, okay, we're past this Cleveland team. Let's just handle our business. I don't know.
I like the streak to end for now. Okay. It's not one I'm super confident in, but yeah, I lean Cincinnati for now. Check the post on Sunday, as always.
For sure.
Let's move it along to the other divisional matchup in the AFC North. Baltimore going to Pittsburgh. Without Lamar Jackson, he's out 1 to 3 weeks with it's like a UCL, ACL sprain, something along that line in his knee is what I remember. Under over 37.5, Pittsburgh's defense been cooking lately. That's why I like the 2.5.
I do too.
Yeah, you're there. You're there with me.
Yes, I'm right there, man. As we know, The Ravens have issues covering any spread for that matter. Especially without Lamar.
Yeah.
The bet that I like is the under 36.5. That sounds crazy, but
that does sound crazy.
I love it. This might be a lock for me.
13-10 final.
Yeah, it's going to be an ugly game, but I guarantee you Pitt's going to cover that spread, man. They've been covering the spread.
They've been covering spreads all. They've quietly gone from, being kind of a joke of a team. I think they were one of those 1-5, 1-6 teams also.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they've ripped off like 3 wins in a row.
Yes. I'm kind of liking the parlay of that, like Pitt covering and the under 36. That sounds crazy, but
no, that's not that crazy. I don't mind it.
Man, I just have a feeling about this game that there's not going to be a lot of points, and this is what Pitt likes.
Huntley's gonna have trouble,
Yes.
He did against Denver, and were they in Denver even that game, or was that they were hosting? They were hosting.
I think they
Denver.
were hosting. Yeah.
And Lamar went down in the first quarter, so Huntley played the majority of that game. Sure, the game plan's not there, but he is a guy that knows he is next up. Mm-hmm. Lamar's not a guy who's indestructible, so he'll play a game or two every year.
Right.
Let's see. Ravens just haven't covered in their division either. They're 0-4 in their last 4 via their division.
Yeah.
Pitt's quietly won their last 4 meetings against Baltimore also. As much as, I'm out on Cleveland, I like Pittsburgh here. And they're quietly also in the playoff hunt still. I mean, they would have to rip off some, wins, but they can't let Tomlin down. They can't be the first losing team for him.
I don't think they will be either, man. I think they win this game. I think they make a push for the playoffs. I don't know if they'll get in.
Yeah.
But they are on a nice little run right now. And I just don't trust the Ravens, man. Even with Lamar, man.
Yeah.
They just are like a Jekyll and Hyde, man.
Their defensive stats actually look decent, too.
As
much as I was like, they're, beat up at the beginning of the year. When I looked at it again this week, I was like, actually, they pan out. They're not bad.
Statistically, they don't look bad, but I've noticed, though, certain times when they need to make stops, they can't do it. It's one of those type of deals for me, for the Ravens, man. And I'm fading these cats right now, or these birds.
Yeah, I couldn't touch it. And it sucks because I'm usually like, good team, bad backup quarterback usually covers. And, the Dogs covered in their last 5 meetings together, but...
Okay, good point. Good point.
I think I can just lay the 2.5 and die happy there.
I feel good about the 2.5, man. I mean, like I said, this 2.5 or the under 36.5, one of these is going to be a lock for me. But I like Pitt to do that.
Yeah, it's just a matter of which.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move it on to... God, I hate.
One of those. Huh?
It's not one I hate, but it's just like we have to talk about this fucking team every week. Kansas City going to Denver. Mr. Unlimited hosting them. I seen this number at 9.5 earlier. I wrote it at 9 today. Yeah. Under over 43. You can assume that most tickets are just going to go on Kansas City anyway. Even though that Denver defense, they covered last week. It was ugly because without Lamar, but I thought they still would have covered anyway.
Yeah, I did too.
As bad as that sounds.
Well, I bet against it, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, they're going to cover this again. Man.
Yeah, and Denver still has that great defense. I don't care if Kansas City's won the last 13 against the Broncos. They usually keep it somewhat close at home, even though their spread record doesn't totally show it. It's just a matter of both these teams don't fucking cover.
Right, exactly.
Kansas City 4-7-1, Denver 4-8. That's both good for 26th and 28th in the league. I mean, we know Kansas City's probably gonna win, but can Mr. Unlimited throw a touchdown? Can they kick 3 field goals?
Well, they didn't score a touchdown last game at all.
Yeah, toilets. Toilets are up, man.
Yes, man.
Toilets are fucking up.
But you know what, man? I've gotten burnt, man, by the Denver, man, so many times this year. I got to go with these guys, man, because Kansas City doesn't cover either. Like you said, Kansas City is 2-3 against the spread as road favorites this season.
And like I said, I know I said this earlier in the year, when they're giving 10 on the road, he's only about 500 when it comes to covering that number. So it's not a gimme by any stretch of the imagination. Even this team, even this bad fucking Broncos team can cover a number every now and then.
Yeah.
And you have to be, short-sighted in a way. Because, Kansas City is probably still better than Cincinnati. They're still better than most teams. Do we believe that the foot bruise is going to be an issue? Probably not. But I think that passing defense for Denver is going to be an issue.
Yes, it will be.
They usually are.
Yes. I just, as far as spreads are concerned, I don't trust Kansas City. They are one of the best teams though in the league, but as far as spreads though, man,
yeah,
I'm going with Denver. Denver's at home too. This is a homey game for them.
Yeah,
not that it matters for them, but we are in Denver.
If they can put up 20 points, they cover no matter what.
I don't think they can put that much up.
I don't think they can.
I'm going, and I'm gonna tell you another thing. This under over. That's 43.5, man. I like the under on that, man, because I think Kansas City's not going to put up a lot of points either. I think they could put up maybe 20 points.
It'll be like 20-12 final. They'll
Something
just
like
kick
that,
field goals. Yeah.
Or even maybe 20-9.
It sucks, man. This game fucking stinks. I remember at the beginning of the year, we were so, this game got flexed out of prime time also. You got to remember, Russell Wilson had how many fucking primetime spots this year?
Oh, my God. To start the season.
Like 5?
Yes.
He had to start the season. They had the worst Thursday game anyone's ever watched. Mm-hmm. They played San Francisco in another terrible fucking game. They had a Monday nighter against the Chargers that was a stinker. Mm-hmm. And this would have been their 5th primetime game?
This is ridiculous, man.
I'm glad they took him off. They don't deserve it.
They don't, man.
And, they wanted Patrick Mahomes to be in that primetime spot no matter what. He is the face of the NFL. And Russell Wilson took that away from him. That's how bad this guy is.
Well, let me play devil's advocate for a hot second, man, because we know Kansas City lost last week.
Yeah.
Could this be a bounce back game for them, though? I mean, could it possibly be?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not that it's never not a bounce back time for a team that, clearly got frustrated last week.
Yeah.
You lose any team in the NFL, it's not going to be a fun time.
Right.
Especially the team you lost to, in the playoffs and the regular season last year.
Yes. That's why somebody got to pay for that.
Yeah, and Denver very well could lose this game by 30. Like, I'm not even kidding.
I mean, they could.
Like, I just lean with points at home and a good defense. Even though that might be the best offense in the league.
I'm going to have to agree with you, man.
Sucks to say it.
Yeah. I mean, Denver does suck.
Yeah.
But let's call a spade, but they've covered games where I didn't think that they were going to cover.
They shouldn't cover any
outmatched.
They shouldn't cover any fucking games. They really shouldn't. They covered, that San Francisco game. They covered Indy covered that one. Where else did they?
Right.
Oh, they beat Vegas. I know they beat.
They did, yes.
Right? Or no,
Vegas. They didn't beat them. I think they covered, though. Didn't they beat them? I think they may have beaten them, though.
I think they might have got swept. Now that I really think about this, I think they got swept by the Raiders. They covered against the Chargers when they shouldn't have. But that was because I told you that offensive line trouble. I was like, yo,
yeah, that was that Monday night.
That Monday nighter.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, get on this.
Yeah.
And I remember week 1, like, don't bet the Broncos.
Man. I'm taking the Broncos. I'm just
God.
It's crazy. I mean, you look at it from the naked eye, you're like, hell no, the Broncos.
It's gonna fucking suck, man. It really is going to suck.
KC for me. I mean, I'm sorry, Denver for me.
Yeah, and when they lose by 30, don't.
Right. Psych. We'll say psych. We was lying.
My bad.
That was on us.
Yeah, that will be on us. We will move it along to Carolina going to Seattle. I've seen this number go to 4. Under over 43.5. I don't know if that... these lines are all subject to fucking change all the time. It's Wednesday still, folks.
Right.
We're doing this to give you a head start on what to maybe think. As always, check the Twitter sphere. Because I try not to change too many. I'm not going to do the total flop on people. Because I think that's just, wrong and
True.
Misleading. You're very misleading if you're like, here's what I talk about on the show. I bet everything.
But I bet the opposite.
Yeah, I bet the opposite of everything.
That's true.
And I changed one last week. It was the Vegas game.
Okay.
That was the only game I changed, I believe. This game is pretty fucking stinky to me too. I like Carolina 4.
You got it at 4. I got it at 3.5, and I chose Carolina too.
Isn't that a fucking weird? Yeah, we've been aligned this week. So,
well, Seattle has not covered the last 3 weeks. I would say I'm thinking. This would be the 4th time if they don't cover in a row. So the spread is really tricky to me too, but I'm just going by Seattle not being able to cover. Carolina still having a pretty solid defense, and Kenneth Walker is hurt.
Yeah, I've seen he's unlikely to play.
So Geno has to is going to have to pass that ball more.
Carolina's defense still is. It's like them and Denver are kind of the same team. It's like they have these great defenses, but the worst fucking offense you can imagine.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of them putting up, 20 points, because I think that defense can hold them down.
I think so too. And Carolina is coming off of a bye.
Yeah,
so
I like that
rest.
fact too. Yeah. I agree with you there. Then both teams are in the hunt, so it's going to be, I think, a field goal game. I think Seattle could very well win by a field goal at the end.
Well, that spread dropped too, didn't it? I mean, I think it started at 5.
That's what. Yeah,
4.5, I think.
Yeah, I seen 4.5. If you're telling me 3.5, I mean, I'm still in on 3.5. I'll take it. It's not the greatest. Yeah, of course, I wish I would have got that early 4.5 2 days ago on Monday.
Yeah. But it's dropping for a reason, though, man. Well, hold on now. The favorite is Seattle, right?
Yeah, Seattle's favored, and they're at home, and they're a team that was expected to win 4 games this year. Mm-hmm. That's the funny part. It's still I still believe in them just coming back to earth
at some point.
Yeah, they're gonna drop a game. Last week's game against the Rams, that was ugly.
It was ugly, yes.
They, pushed through at the end. Geno had a nice drive, threw one to DK at the end of the game. Got that game winner. However, they gave up 20 points to John Wolford and fucking company.
Yes.
I don't know how. I don't even know how.
Listen, they've shown within the last few weeks, they've shown semblances of, being the Seattle that we thought that they were going to be. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
This game is going to be no different for me. I think I'm not saying the Panthers win, but I think the Panthers do cover that 3.5.
Yeah, I'm there with you, and it sucks. Again, it's I have to bet these teams I don't really trust.
Yes.
Because, like I said, even with Denver, Kansas City, both of these teams could get blown out by 20 any day of the week. But I like Darnold starting, too. That's the other thing. I think Darnold is that's his team.
That's his team, man.
Unfortunately, that's his team.
Man, come on.
He's got to get his last, chances.
He's going to try to play the best that he can, I think.
You get to 5-8. Tampa Bay, the next game we'll talk about, they lose.
That's up for grabs.
That's up for grabs then.
Shoot, man.
It's up for grabs. The worst division I've seen in football in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, no question.
No question. Every team is bad. And it's not a fun bad. They're not fun games to watch.
They're not,
Monday night was a snoozer.
It was, man. With the great Tom Brady, man, on a bad team like this, man.
Yeah, it's when you have a bad offensive line, Tom Brady just kind of crumbles, and that's why I don't see him playing with Tampa Bay going forward after this season. I think he moves on.
So you think he does not retire after the season then, huh?
He either retires or goes to... There's a couple teams I have him going to.
Yeah.
New England being one.
Going back. Okay.
Which would be fucking great. I'd love to see Josh Allen put 40 up on the Patriots with Tom Brady there, yelling and breaking tablets. That'd be sick. Miami's probably not the place, but you could still see it. You could still technically see it. And San Francisco is another team he's always wanted to play for. If Jimmy G and Trey Lance are out, opens the door for the guy. So those would be the three leading ones if you wanted to bet where Tom Brady goes next. Retired, New England, Miami, San Francisco.
That's interesting, man. But for me, I think Tom Brady right now, his mindset is, and this is how crazy we talking about Tom Brady. And we're in the middle of talking about another, this.
I'm done.
Game.
I'm done talking about Carolina, Seattle.
Yeah,
we're both on Carolina.
We're on Carolina.
we're gonna move on.
Does Tampa Bay play this week? I don't.
Who?
Does Tampa Bay does play?
Yeah,
this
that's
week,
the next team we're talking about. Okay. Yeah, we're talking about.
Hey, let's transition.
Yeah, we'll transition. Yeah, I'll transition it now since we're talking about it. Tampa Bay going on the road to San Francisco. San Francisco is giving Tampa Bay 3 points under over 37. We got Brock Purdy. We got Mr. Irrelevant playing Mr. Irrelevant. As crazy as that is, it's a real thing this week. That's awesome.
And we just talked about Tom Brady maybe going to the 49ers next season.
It very well could.
It could happen too.
Yeah,
man.
and this is a weird game. By all means, I love San Francisco 3. They don't lose at, what was formerly Candlestick.
Right.
Bucks haven't covered shit all year. I don't think they've covered, but one game in, the last 9 or something.
Yeah.
Something silly. And the Bucks can't fucking run the ball, which, San Francisco rates number 1 in the league at stopping the run. That was a big reason they stopped Miami this week.
Yes.
Stop the run, play the pass. That's why 2 through 2 picks.
Mm-hmm. Hey, this might be a lock for me, man. Tampa Bay, I just don't trust Tampa Bay at all anymore, man.
Anymore. At first, I was like, okay, I can maybe bet these guys here and there. Tom Brady will do it for me. That offensive line's decimated. That defense is suspect, too. They give up 24 points a game.
Yes. So I think this would be an easy game for the third string quarterback. Not an easy game, but it'd be a game where he can kind of gain his footing and see and kind of, get a little comfy. Because I think that the 49ers can cover just based off their defense alone.
Agreed. And look at last time a third string QB started this year. Happened in New England against the Lions. What happened? They covered. They won the game 26-0.
Yes, man.
So I'm not fretting a third string QB starting. They're gonna do, what all teams do when they're starting a third stringer. It's gonna be little dump offs, little 5-yard slant routes, little bubble screens. They're not gonna put the game in his hands like that.
Right.
They're gonna put it in McCaffrey's hands.
Yeah.
He's gonna get big workload, and I think he can run all over this team.
They have enough weapons where the third string quarterback will not have to do much. He won't have to win the game for them.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you one other thing. I think this will be a lock for me, and I'm calling it right now. I'm taking the under 37.5 in this game.
Okay.
This is definitely gonna be a defensive game. Although Tampa Bay's defense is not that great, but
yeah, it's the only thing that scares me is barn burner 10-12 final. Something silly like that. I like the under too. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
McCaffrey could run wild on these guys. You gotta think he's played them his whole career. He played Tampa Bay twice a year for 4 years.
True.
And when you usually look at the numbers, tore them up except once.
Okay.
It was a Thursday night in the rain. I remember watching that game. They did win that game, but
so he likes playing against Tampa Bay. Because he goes off.
I like him as a fantasy lock this week.
Well, what about what about betting something on him? Maybe over or under so many rushing yards. Did we see those?
I would take
props.
They overvalue him in every facet they can because they have to. I didn't take a look at the number, but
No.
I probably take over receptions.
Okay.
Like if it's over 5.5, I think he gets 6 catches.
Okay.
It's a
All
big
right.
number.
Yeah, they're gonna do a lot of bubbles.
They're gonna have to have him, be the offense,
Right,
just like he
right.
was in Carolina. But I think he's a decent, he's a decent third stringer from what he did to Miami, because everyone was on the public anyway was on Miami heavy last week.
I was too, man.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I'm part of the public.
Yeah, I wasn't, and I wasn't thinking Jimmy G was going down in that game. Jimmy G doesn't go down in that game. They still win by the same amount of points.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Let's move it on to the Sunday night game that got flexed in. We have a real quarterback versus a social media quarterback.
Oh, wow.
It's the Miami Dolphins. Those aren't my words, by the way. It's Emmanuel Acho's words. Okay. Miami Dolphins going on the road to the Los Angeles Chargers. I've seen it go to 3.5, under over 52. Miami is 8-4 on the season now. Chargers are 6-6. I didn't do too much on this game, but I got a gut feeling Chargers win this game outright. Explain to me why I'm wrong, even though I know I'm probably wrong.
I think this is, and I took the Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, I figured that was,
I think this is a bounce back game for Miami. I think, and by the way, Tua did hurt his ankle, the tail end of that game, I believe.
A lot of people getting hurt last week because I thought Trevor Lawrence was done. I thought Lamar was done for the year. I was like, oh no, there's like 5 guys out for the year. Jimmy G obviously out for the season.
For the year,
Yeah, I didn't know really about Tua either. So yeah, a lot of injuries.
That's
shorten the fucking season, guys.
Right.
Don't need this much football. I love it, but you don't need this much.
Well, both of these teams have something to play for, though, because Miami is on the hunt for AFC East title right now. I mean, they're in it to win it now.
Yeah, they got to win to get right back. They got to win and hope the Jets take care of business.
Yeah. I just think that Miami can just outscore these guys, quite frankly, man, because we know the Chargers defense is very suspect. It wasn't supposed to be, but
I told you beginning of the year.
You did.
Watch out. They paid a lot of money, and it's not going to go well.
Mm-hmm.
What has happened? They're the most injured team in football.
Yes.
Which is, you can't blame that on anyone. Injuries are going to happen, but that team got decimated.
Yeah.
You know how many snaps Keenan Allen and Mike Williams have played together?
Probably snaps.
Yeah.
20.
Like 60? Yeah. Like a game. They've played like one game together this year.
I'm glad, though, Keenan came back because I needed him for my fantasy football stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. I mean, I need Mike Williams back, and I probably won't start him this week. That's the funny part. I'm loaded at receiver. I think DJ Moore's a better start. Fun fact.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I agree with that. I just think that Miami's just going to outscore these guys, man. And I trust Miami's offense a little bit more than I trust the Chargers offense at this particular point in time. Now, I'm not saying that Tua is a better quarterback than Herbert, but I think that the offense flows a little bit better with what Tua.
With what they have, I agree. Absolutely. That sentiment should be repeated over and over because look at what they do when they, yards after catch, creating space.
Man.
They can't run the ball, however.
They can't.
But they play a team who can't defend the run.
Exactly. So they don't need to run the ball, right?
That's exactly. No, they're going to run the ball, and it's going to be good.
Able to run,
it might be, might be in their favor. They might eclipse 100 this week.
Oh.
And I think that'll help the play action game. I think that'll help the deep bombs.
Open it up, right? Yeah.
It's going to open it up. However, I don't like betting, favorites on primetime games. I'm pretty much, I've been pretty clear with you all season. It's you take the dog about 65% of the time.
Okay.
And last week, we had 2 nice primetime covers with the Bills and Cowboys, and that's what had me worried. I was like, I got to pull the trigger for the show.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely correct about that. And, Herbert is having a good season, man. He's having
Yeah, he's 4th in passing yards, and he doesn't have a single receiver in the top 30 in receiving yards.
Can we give him some help and really see how he can, play? I mean,
just give him credit. No, he just deserves credit, man. He's not playing with a fucking center. He's not playing with 2 tackles. The guy, this is a team sport. I hate the fucking idea of, like, the quarterback is the, ultimate de facto wins and losses, decider. It's not true. This guy's a stud.
He is.
If he was on the Bills, they'd be a great team still. If he was on Kansas City, they'd still be a 9-2, like a 9-2 team. If he was on Cincinnati, they'd be a good team. This team is not that good.
It's not.
They're hurt and they're not good.
But he is.
But he's spectacular, and I think they're going to take chances this week. I think Staley's going to open that playbook up. They're going to take their 4th down fucking chances.
Okay.
And it's going to be a battle. I like 3.5. The hook is nice at home, especially.
Now, I got it at 3. So.
Okay, yeah. I had it at 3. I seen it go up to 3.5.
Okay.
And that's why I'm all over it.
Okay. All right.
3 I would take as well. I would even consider the money line here.
Oh, wow.
And if Mike Williams plays, you should anytime touchdown score him.
If he plays.
I think he scores. Yeah, I think he probably scores.
Okay.
Or him or Allen. One of those 2 dudes are scoring if they're both playing, so probably a safe bet. We are on the final game of the week. This is a shorter week. I told you, 13 games. Podcast goes a little bit quicker. I like that. It's nice.
Yes, it is. But this game is not. Oh.
Yeah, this game, I'll introduce it real quick. It's New England going on the road to Arizona. I've seen it at +2. Did you get it at 2 or 1.5?
I got it at 1.5.
Yeah, I seen it at 2. I think people are going to bet it up, and you probably get Arizona 2.5 when it comes all down to it. I hate this fucking game.
Yeah.
I don't really want to talk about it. Gun to my head, I probably won't bet it unless I win a lot of money on Sunday.
Right. Oh, this is the worst, man. Damn.
It's one I don't want to touch. Gun to my head, Arizona. Give me the points blindly.
Yeah, I got to take the Cardinals, man, because every time I bet for the Patriots, I get burnt, man. This whole season, man, has just been deplorable.
Kind of been my
Patriots,
thing,
man.
too. Yeah, they've burned me.
Man, I do not like these dudes, man. Cardinals all the way, man. I think that then the Cardinals suck too. Both these teams are not very good to me.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to get out of these games, out of these teams, man.
Yeah, I don't know what I would even want to get out of these games, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be enjoyable, and I'm very excited that next year they're going to start flexing the Monday night games.
Excellent.
Because games like this don't deserve Monday night.
They don't. No, not at all.
Like, Kyler Murray does not deserve to be in the spotlight. He doesn't even want to play football.
Right. I think their fan base would agree with us, too.
Yeah, I think both are, I mean, the Patriots are so smug, they want that extra. And they get the mini bye, that is, because they play Thursday night, now they get to play Monday, so they get an extra day on top of it. Arizona is coming off a bye, however, so it kind of evens out there.
Right.
I just don't have any real, perspective, insight that would help anyone bet this game. I don't.
would say, man, y'all stay away from this game, man.
Just stay the fuck away. I know it's Monday and you like betting football, but unless you win a lot, just fucking leave it.
Don't even watch it. I mean, watch some NCAA basketball, maybe some NBA basketball. Stay away from this one, man.
It's finally time.
Stomach might start hurting watching this game. I don't know. It's not a good game to watch, though.
It's finally time to start betting Winthrop -13 in the worst basketball game you'll ever watch. That's
real talk, man.
That's where we'll leave it at. As always, I'm Rich.
Andre.
We'll see you next time. And hope you guys enjoy the show. This was always fun.
Don't fumble the bag.